Hey everybody, this is Todd Zumpel, Partner and Retirement Plan Services Division Leader at Gordon Asset Management. Here today to share with you the January 2023 Retirement Plan Sponsor Update. Well, it's been a very busy couple of months in retirement plan land. New contribution limits, and we have this new Secure 2.0 Act to talk about. First off, let's quickly cover the new contribution limits. The deferral limit increased from $20,500 to $22,500. The catch-up limit for 2023 increased from $6,500 to $7,500. The total contribution amount, the 415 limit, which includes both employee and employer contributions, increased from $61,000 in 2022 to $66,000 in 2023. In terms of compensation, the maximum compensation allowed for retirement plan calculations increased from $305,000 to $330,000. The HCE limit, highly compensated employee limit, the threshold increased to $150 from $135. And last but not least, the Social Security wage base also increased from about $147,000 to $160,200. So as a byproduct of all this inflation we've had, the 401k contribution limits have all increased quite a bit, actually. In case you missed any of that, we'll actually include a link in the description of this video to a chart that has all those limits spelled out. In other news, on December 23rd, 2022, our leaders of the lame duck House of Representatives passed the $1.7 trillion, 4,155-page omnibus spending bill. That bill, all 8.5 reams of it, was then packed up on a commercial flight, flown to St. Croix, where President Joe Biden dutifully signed it into law on December 29th. Included in this 4,000-page marvel of mandates were 358 pages of new retirement plan legislation, which is being referred to as the Secure Act 2.0, which is generally viewed as an expansion of the Secure 1.0 that was put into law in 2020. Included in these 358 pages of Secure 2.0 were 92 new provisions aimed at increasing access to retirement plans, breaking down the barriers to entry for new companies wanting to offer retirement plans. Also quite a few little pieces in there that improved the rules that were already in place. Now let's first talk about my least favorite, one of those provisions. Now, in order to offset some of the freebies offered in the Secure Act 2.0, Congress had to come up with some revenue generators. And the one that I like the least is the Rothification of catch-up contributions. And basically what the new law states is that starting in 2024, anybody who makes over $145,000 in compensation will now have to make catch-up contributions in the form of Roth, which is after tax. So if we think about what that means for somebody in a 24% marginal tax bracket and a $7,500 catch-up contribution, that means they're going to have to pay about $1,800 more in personal income tax. So that's why I think that is personally the worst provision that they added. While we're on the topic of catch-up contributions, let's talk about the new special catch-up contribution that the Secure Act 2.0 establishes. So for anybody who is age 60 to 63, starting in 2025, you will actually be able to contribute more in catch-up. So, and the number is $10,000. So for 2023, you can do a $7,500 catch-up, but if you're between the ages of 60 and 63, starting in 2025, you can actually contribute $10,000. Now let's talk about my next least favorite provision in Secure 2.0. That is the requirement that long-time part-timers are included in your 401k plan for purposes of deferral. Long-time part-timers are defined by folks that work at least 500 hours in 2 consecutive years. So those folks, after 2 consecutive years of 500 plus hours, they will all be required to enter into the plan for purposes of deferrals. There was already a provision in Secure 1.0 that addressed long-time part-timers, but the Secure 2.0 shortened the length of time from 3 consecutive years of 500 plus hours to only 2. And so this goes into effect for plan years starting in 2025. Now, for most folks, I don't think this is a big issue, and sure, I think it's a great thing to get more people into the plan and saving, but I think it could be a nightmare for companies that have a lot of turnover, maybe a lot of seasonal employees. So it's just a lot more tracking that will be required. Now with Secure 2.0, there are a whole slew of provisions that make it much easier for people to access their money. So let's talk about a few of those. So beginning in 2024, the 10% pre-age 59 and a half early withdrawal penalty is waived for emergency withdrawals of up to $1,000 per year. And there is an option to repay that over 3 years. This is not a hardship. This is just a $1,000, hey, I have an emergency and I need some money for any reason. Now, speaking of hardships, Secure 2.0 allows participants to self-certify their hardship events, or they had an event that qualifies for a hardship distribution. I love this because it takes you, the employer, out of a very uncomfortable conversation. So, if your employee is going through something difficult financially, it's kind of hard to ask them to, hey, can you provide proof that you're being kicked out of your apartment? It's never been good. It's never been a great conversation. So it takes you as the plan sponsor out of that uncomfortable discussion. Now, my concern is that more and more participants will use their 401k as a piggy bank. They'll dip in, take hardships really for any reason. And are they true hardships? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not, but who knows? Now, as we close the door on that potentially uncomfortable conversation, we open a new door in another totally unrelated uncomfortable situation potentially for HR managers. Secure 2.0 allows for domestic abuse survivors to withdraw the lesser of $10,000 or 50% of their account balance penalty-free. So pre-age 59 and a half, you'll still pay income tax, but you won't pay that 10% early withdrawal penalty. And potentially that money can be paid back over 3 years as well. At this point, and to my knowledge, there's no self-certification piece here, so HR managers may have to have some kind of documented proof that you're a domestic abuse survivor. So, sorry. Along those same lines, the IRS will now waive the 10% early withdrawal penalty for those that are pre-59 and a half, but are also terminally ill. I think that's great, but how does one functionally prove to the IRS that you are indeed terminally ill? What happens if you get better? I don't know, but penalty-free. The insurance lobby was definitely well represented in Secure 2.0. One of the new provisions is that they will allow a withdrawal penalty-free of up to $2,500 per year to pay for long-term care insurance premiums. So you have access to long-term care insurance premiums, penalty-free, distributed from your 401k. Now, many of these provisions, I think, will make the 401k into a piggy bank for some employees, but the Secure 2.0 actually does create this new pension-linked sidecar savings plan. So the idea is kind of neat. Think of it like a forced savings account. Essentially, employers can automatically enroll employees into a sidecar savings plan or a rainy day savings account. Contributions will go into that account until the bucket fills up at $2,500 at a $2,500 maximum. And then from there, contributions can automatically be switched over to Roth 401k contributions. So the concept is pretty cool, and there's some other nuances involved. Obviously, the industry is not there yet, so I think the technology will have to play a little bit catch up in this area, but it's sort of a novel and interesting idea. Secure 2.0 also allows for matching student loan contributions. So if you have employees that are making payments, student loan payments, those payments can be factored into a 401k matching contribution if your 401k offers a match. RMDs increased from the age 73 in 2023 to the age of 75 in 2033. Effective this year, 2023, employers can offer small financial incentives to incentivize employees to participate in the 401k plan. On force outs, effective in 2024, the auto rollover threshold is increased from $5,000 to $7,000. So folks that are terminated employees with balances of less than $7,000 can actually be automatically rolled out into an IRA. Also, on de minimis cash out, force out distributions, Secure 2.0 also creates this notion of auto portability, in which record keepers can speak to each other, and these smaller accounts, if an employee leaves one company, goes to another, their 401k balance will be automatically ported to the new retirement plan. How this happens in action, that's a great question. I don't think the technology is quite there. And last but not least is the Rothification of matching contributions. So presumably, employees would be able to elect to have their 401k matching contributions funded in the form of Roth, which means they would pay income tax on it currently in that year. I'm guessing there'd be some W-2 reporting for that, and those contributions would be funded into the plan under a Roth match source. Super interesting concept. I'm not sure how exactly this will play out in practice, especially if a company has a vesting schedule on their match. Is that even allowed? I don't know. I think there's some holes to fill. So overall, there's quite a few changes. I didn't touch on everything, but I think the main ones I covered today are the key points that will impact most existing plan sponsors. If you'd like to learn more, we actually set up a website devoted just strictly to Secure 2.0. It's secure2act.com. Feel free to go there so you can stay up to date. Please also subscribe to our channel so you get notifications for the most recent content we put out. If you have any questions, like always, please do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you.